Hello everyone and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures. Now as you can see we have a ship there on the launch pad ready to go. It's all fueled up and everything. I did all that off camera. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. The reason M9 is not in the cockpit is because he's back here in the smelter, and the reason the ship is here and all fueled up is because I had an issue with my recording previously where I had myself muted for like, oh, I don't know, say 60% of the video. And I wasn't comfortable doing a post commentary. I wasn't comfortable leaving it empty. So what I did is, although I'd already had one of these up in orbit, I canceled the flight and I set everything up to launch a new one. Couldn't reload because I'd quick saved several times, believing myself to be recorded. So minor error there on my part, but everything is loaded up and ready to go. And so Lothfar is going to go ahead and grab the hook, and he's going to bring it back down to this module down here. Now as you can see, when this thing is launched, I set it up to where it has four connector clamps all the way around it, so that no matter how it loads up, we can connect the cable to it. I guess if I wanted to, I could have two separate cables for this, but I still kind of like having the single cable. It makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to have Lothfar get back inside. Now the only downside here is it was the previous time I attempted to play, the previous time I attempted to do this, we had a random mod glitch and the ship exploded. Not the Proteus, but the launch ship here, the Humble. And just so you guys don't know, I'll show it to you here in a second once we get to it. But basically, when we switched to the ship, it exploded, and I had to reload the game. So that's going to be a thing because it's a glitch where sometimes the ships will randomly explode. It's not because of a failure on my part. It's actually a mod bug, and because of that, it does fall under our reload rules. Let's go ahead and get back inside. So Lothfar is okay, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. We're going to quick save really quick, and then we're just going to switch vessels. Alright, it looks like everything's good. So, as you can see, what we have here is we have a slightly modified version of the Humble Bumble. It's a lot more stable version, and I'd like to thank the people over on Twitch TV during my stream. I believe it was a personal stream, yeah, who helped me redesign the Humble to be more stable, which is great. So, we have a more stable Humble Bumble, and then we have, of course, a hitchhiker, and then we have a launch platform. Now, if you take a look at the thrust-to-weight ratio on this launch platform, it's a 23.39 thrust-to-weight ratio with a maximum burn time of 1 minute 24 seconds. So, doesn't take a lot to launch this little guy. So we're going to launch him. We're going to get him into orbit, and then from orbit we're going to try to get him out to Duna, because what we need the Bumble for before we send anything else out is we need I don't know why it's still open. We need to check our two landing sites. We have two landing sites that I want to check. There's the best two landing sites that have both Kethane and ore overlays, which is great. They're in pretty good positions, but one's on the north hemisphere and one's on the southern hemisphere, and it's hard to see what they look like from the sky, so could be a bit of an issue. Yeah, so this thing should fly just fine. I hope, barring any errors or problems. So let's go ahead and get it off the ground. Now, to do that, it's really simple. We actually need to go up to about a quarter. I know it seems like a lot, but like I said, I launched it once before. A quarter is about right. So let's go ahead and turn on our stabilizer, and then launch. And there we go. Now we just want to start our turn to 90 degrees. Nothing really spectacular. I believe this is 90. Yeah, this is 90. Okay. So I just want to start our turn to 90 degrees. Now we'll get up to about 10 kilometers. That's as high as we need. I believe the highest mountain on Minmus is 5, I think. As I've been told, is about 5. So we have lots of fuel to work with, which is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's just go ahead and burn over. Now, we do still have to worry about stability issues and things like that, but what we don't have to worry about is atmosphere. We have no atmosphere, so we can just go up to like 10,000 meters just to avoid hitting a mountain. But other than that, we're perfectly fine. So our second semi-successful launch, again, I'm going to call it our second semi-successful launch because our first successful launch was the A ship, the abandoned ship, which we took back to Kerbin, and then our second sort of successful launch was this ship, but with a recording error on my part, and then now we have this ship here, which should be absolutely 100%. So, you know what, let me check myself, make sure I'm not muted again. Okay, I'm not muted again. Oh, wow, okay, It's been so long since I've had a section of audio missing because I was muted. I feel so about it, you know. Now our orbit may be way off for whatever reason. I don't know. We're at 90 degrees off north-south pole, but that doesn't mean anything. If it is, it doesn't matter. We still have to orient ourselves um, to Duna anyway, and that's going to be off because our orbit, the orbit of Minmus, is off. So that we can all do out in space. But for now, what we just need to do is we just need to get into orbit, and that is going to be super duper easy. The biggest loss, I think, with the other recording, apart from how awesome and original it was, because I was in it, was the ignore the cable there. That's from the Kerbal attachment system. It does that when you fast forward time. Shouldn't affect us. Should not affect us. The only thing that was really bad about it is that we did lose the keythane and the ore that was previously used to launch this ship, and that it's actually a lot of keythane. Yeah, so there it goes. It was actually a lot of keythane, unfortunately. So we did lose that, I'm afraid. But since the Proteus base is just going to be for launching the new Ike base, it's not really that big a concern for me, I don't think. So we'll go ahead and start our burn. Nothing really spectacular. Yeah, we're going to come up on our node here pretty quick, but that's okay. That's okay. We should be able to get, I guess we could throttle up a little bit faster. I just don't want to affect our apoapsis too much, because here on Minmus, it's really super easy to flip your apoapsis without even realizing it. Although we are going to get there in about 8 seconds anyway, so throttle up maybe a little bit more. There we go. We'll do a quarter speed, because that's about safe. Alright. Yep, so there goes our apoapsis is now on the other side of us. That's fine. Here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoop. Okay. 9.9 by 13 is fine. 9.9 should be high enough to avoid any mountains that we may hit. And there we go. We are now in orbit. Now our orbit's going to be floppy because we weren't on the equator, and I think that's what I didn't account for last time, is we're not on the equator. So our orbit's actually going at a kind of an angle. Again, not super duper important because we're going to have to change our angle once we hit escape velocity anyway, but escape velocity from here is so much easier than escape velocity from Kerbal, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera here really quick. I'm going to set up our burn node, and I'm going to have to fast forward time, because if you take a look at Duna, 201.22 is not a good burn. Is not a good burn time. So we're going to have to do some fast forwarding of time, along with burning to get us probably in a high enough orbit to fast forward time and just make sure that we're safe and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here really quick now that we're in orbit. Yay! Our first interplanetary launch from the interplanetary launch pad. With so much trouble, it actually feels good to get this thing up into the sky like this and ready to go. So I will do that, absolutely. And either that's a dot on my screen or that's our shadow. I'm pretty sure it's a dot on my screen. Yeah, it's a dot on my screen. So yeah, I'll get all that set up, and then just before our burn, of course, I will bring you guys back, and we'll start our burn out to Duna, which will be super helpful with this tank, because this tank's got like 938 meters per second of delta V, and who knows, that might be enough to get us to Duna, and then the hitchhiker becomes pointless at that point. Oh, that'd be sweet. So this is all going to be testing, because this is all based off of stuff that we used to launch from Kerbin. So it's a whole new learning experience to launch from Minmus. So yeah, again, not to waste your guys' time, because we do have to go roving on Ike. We're landing on Ike, of course. Just in case you guys hadn't realized that, we have 2 destinations on Ike, and we're landing on Ike. So I will see you guys on the other side. Alright everyone, I have flipped us around to where Duna's in the right spot. It looks like to go at the maximum time warp, you do have to be above 60 kilometers over Minmus, so that's where we are now. Our first burn is only going to be 855.3 meters per second. It's going to take us pretty close to Kerbin, but we shouldn't intercept. Great part about this is it only takes 855.3 to get an intercept on Duna. It's pretty far out there, about 30 million meters, but that's absolutely fine. It will take a second maneuver as well in order to line us up more properly when we're out in space, but I'll do that off camera. But for now, it's going to be a pretty simple burn here in about an hour, so let's go ahead and get our hour up. Oh. Gotta be cautious. Looks like we're a little off center on our... I don't know why it does that sometimes. I don't know why some rockets don't stay centered. I don't know. Maybe it's the effect of gravity or something. I don't know, but something always causes... Or something will cause rockets not to spin properly. Maybe it's the SAS being on. I don't know, but something will cause rockets not to properly... That might be it. It might be SAS. I don't know. But some rockets just do not want to stay on that little blue marker. They're like, oh, I'll just glide off here for a minute. No idea what causes it, but it's something that you can easily fix by doing that. Now this burn is going to be 1:08, which means we're only going to have to start burning at about 34 seconds. And that's going to be wicked awesome because we shouldn't burn into anything. We should be like, yeah, we're we're way far away from Minmus, so we won't even touch it. We shouldn't burn into Duna, or excuse me, shouldn't burn into Kerbin. We may pass it as we fly by, and we won't have a lunar intercept, so, or excuse me, lunar intercept. So it's actually all pretty awesome stuff that we have. That it's like this. It really is. It's pretty sweet. It may even require a change in design because we used up a lot of fuel, like just to get this. I mean, to get this thing into orbit was simple. It was simple. It was just boom, done. If I adjusted accordingly, it might be possible to get this, like to get something like the Humble to Duna using only something very simple like this, or maybe a teeny tiny additional engine or something, but nothing too spectacular in all honesty, which I think is totally awesome. So as you can see, I'm manually doing this burn because it's not going to take 20 hours. It is just going to take the 30 some or the minute or so here that it says it was going to take. So I'm doing it manually. We do have a bit of a spin going on. Don't know why that is. That's okay. Guess I can use our gimbaling engine to hold us steady, and that is what we will do. We will hold ourselves steady. All right. So we're nearly there. I would throttle up to full, but I don't want to blow this engine. Not right now, not when we're so close to something awesome happening. I will turn on our lights, though, because we do have tons of lights on this little guy, and I completely forgot that you guys can't see when we're on the dark side. So there we go. Get ourselves nosed in proper. Watch that number there on the right. Alright, so we'll start slowing our burn a little bit, because we're coming up on it. So we're within its influence, which is great. And I'll burn a little bit, and maybe we'll burn a little bit extra just to see if we get a better intercept. I don't know if we will. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like not, but I'll keep burning until we get to our final point. Because, again, I do have to adjust a second burn here. There. Alright. So we're at 65 millimeters. Now, if I clear this burn here, which is what we have, yeah, gone. And then this one will get us, should get us within 31. So I do have to do this burn to burn the planar to get us in a planar orbit, a better planar orbit with Duna. So not a bad burn. We have 43 meters per second left in this tank, and we need 118.6 in that burn in 1 day, 19 hours, 18 minutes. So I will do all that off camera, and then I will absolutely see you guys at Duna, and then we'll see how much fuel is left in these tanks, and then of course it may require a redesign. We may not need something as heavy as the Hitchhiker anymore. Oh no. So I'll see you guys at Duna. Alright everybody, here we are, well, not around Duna. As you can see, Duna is that little blip right there, that little half moon thingy, if you can see it at your chosen level of quality there on YouTube. As you can see right here, though, there's a little blip floating away. That is our rear fuel tank. I thought about just transferring fuel from here in, which I did for our secondary maneuver burn. But then I thought about it, and I like having the higher ISP and the higher delta V for maneuvers, and I don't want to run out simply because I got greedy over speed versus efficiency. So I'm gonna go ahead and have go ahead and do a couple of burns here. Like this is an 18-minute burn for 915. That is actually going to get us into an intercept with Ike, which is really awesome. So we're gonna get an intercept with Ike. During that intercept, I'm going to reburn down into a orbital velocity around Ike, and then from there we're going to choose our landing site and bring our ship down. So this is actually working out really well for us, which I'm very happy for, especially with all the bugs from before. But it is just going to be a minute until we can get to Duna. So again, just a little heads up, a little update for you guys that we ditched that garbage. It's going to fly off into the nether space forever, and then we're just going to get around Ike. So I'll see you guys when we're in orbit around Ike, because the two maneuvers are going to take forever, and I don't want to do multiple cuts simply to say, hey, here we are in orbit, here we are in orbit. So I'll see you guys when we are in orbit, stabilized orbit around Ike. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everybody, we are in orbit around Ike. I have determined one of two very distinct locations to land at. Both are not very welcoming, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that the surface from up high is a lot less inviting than the surface from down low, so that when we get down low, we we can land and everything will be fine. But we are going to try to land at a very specific coordinates, which is why you can see Mech Jeb up there in the corner. And there's Duna. Look at that. Nice little Duna. I guess you can say Duna rise there. Probably the only time we'll ever see it rise over the North Pole, of course, because we are in fact going to be heading to a spot just north of the plateau. We do have to. Whoa, I screwed that up. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to try to burn this manually. And I need that on. Yeah, I overshot our mark a little bit. That's okay, though. But yeah, we are going to be trying for a spot. I guess while we burn, you can go ahead and take a look here at the map. So as you can see, this is where we're going to attempt to hit. Now, if you take a look at, that's the ore deposit right there. And if we flip over to Kethane, there's a teeny tiny overlap in this hex area. So I'm trying to aim for that overlap. As you can see, we're burning down and everything. The other one is right here. Now, what's really cool about this one is there's a valley right here. That's a really awesome valley, and that's great. But only the Kethane appears in the valley, and that's just barely, like, right here. The ore, on the other hand, is way up here in the top of this tippy top of this mountain range, and as you can see, it's not very inviting. But they're close enough together across this planar here, I'm hoping it's planar, that this spot right here looks a lot more inviting landing-wise. Pardon me, guys, I have to clear my throat. A lot more inviting landing-wise, there we go, that's a little bit better, than the other one. So we're going to try to land here first. And then if that doesn't work, I am going to rove way over here to check out that one. And wow, maybe I should have burned that the other way. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll get our landing coordinates as quick as possible. But I picked this landing spot, which is the red one, and then I asked MechJev to show us our landing coordinates, like show landing prediction. So it's going to predict we're landing roughly 669 meters away from where I want to, which is, you know, within a kilometer. So I'm okay with that. But in order to land there, of course, we do have to do our little burn in. So it's going to take a little while. So we'll get off the map screen. We'll watch our ship burn. It looks like we're now in, well, we're out of orbit. So we will be crashing one way or the other. Guy here with way too much fuel to spare. Look at all this fuel. That one's burned out, of course. But this one, and this one, OMG. I am going to have to redesign these rockets. Because a hitchhiker is, from Minmus at least, a hitchhiker is no longer needed. I know, weird, isn't it? A hitchhiker is no longer needed to escape the perils of Kerbin in order to get out to Duna. At least not to Ike. Maybe to orbit around Duna. Orbit around Ike seems easier, perhaps, but maybe landing on Duna? I don't know. It just seems like the hitchhiker, at least, or maybe a smaller version, like a hitchhiker 2.0. So we have some more rockets we have to design there for funsies and intelligence and whatnot. And again, this is going to take quite some time. So I think instead of wasting your guys' time, because I don't really have anything to say for the next minute and 46 seconds, plus, as I said, I'm not feeling 100%, so, well, I said that on a previous video. I don't remember. See, this is how bad it is. I don't even remember when the last time I said I'm not feeling very well. But for those of you who didn't know, who couldn't already tell, I'm not feeling 100%, and so therefore, I'm not in my normal, yay, uppity-toggity mood. So, well, I'm trying to be, but I'm going to go ahead and kill the rest of this burn off, and then I think I'll catch you guys right around landing time. I would do this as one big thing, but I do want to rove a little bit, and I don't want to take up all the time with just this, so I do want to rove. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and do the landing bit, or at least I'll catch you guys on the landing bit itself, but for this particular point in the burn, I'm just going to go ahead and cut right here, and then I'll see you guys probably either just before or just after we disconnect the Humble for the landing portion of our little trip. So I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, we are at the North Pole, which is why the camera's going all weird, and we're coming down hopefully somewhere near our landing point. Now the problem with this is I have to make a choice. Our landing coordinates said we're going to land roughly 300 meters from where I wanted to land, and that is epic, awesome, sweet. Downside of that, of course, is the fact that we'll be landing at such an angle that we may hit a mountain. Not so epic, awesome, sweet. So we may have to do a little bit of flimmery, flibberty jibberty. we may have to do some flummoxing in order to get this thing to work properly. But I want to kind of go ahead and see where we come down, or where we're coming down. It looks like we're coming down right towards that mountain range. See, this is, I was hoping for a better landing zone. I really was. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think we're going to get that lucky this time around. I see a couple of spots that may be flat, but not enough from here to suggest that we are going to be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to use MechJeb's landing guidance. And it's going to tell us how far away from our target we're going to be landing. So that's 4 kilometers. If I go like this, will that get us closer? According to MechJeb, nope. Everything I do just screws us up. Okay, well, in that case, what we're going to be what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be screwing ourselves up. So if I take a look at the map, wow, we're going to be landing way short. No. I want more velocity. More velocity, more height. So we want to do this, I guess. Right? Yeah, more velocity, but with more height. May not make it, I don't know. We may have to ditch this little guy as quick as we can. And did we just make it back into orbit? It says we made it into orbit. Why is it saying, okay, because we're being weird. Alright, so MechJeb is pretty much useless at this point because he's saying all sorts of weird stuff like we're making it into orbit and we're skipping across the surface and yada 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 yada. So, not good. Oh, 804 meters periapsis greater than 0 meters atmospheric height. Whatever the heck that means. Okay, well, you know what? Whatever. I have lost control of my ship. I don't know why, but it's like, it's not going where I want it to. I say go down and it's like, go sideways. No, go down, as in not sideways. Alright, this is good. This is good. We may fly over the... Wow, what is wrong with this ship? I'm looking at the gimbal. I'm controlling via gimbal, but it's just being really weird. Alright, so I guess we can kind of coast. We may hit the ground. I don't know if we hit the ground, whatever. Our orbit, yeah, we're going to be a little bit off, but that's okay. Whoa, bring it in. I need to see where we're landing. Okay, so we will go ahead and start slowing ourselves down. Along with that, we will make ourselves go up a little bit because we really need to slow down. We're doing 300 meters per second across the surface, and that's not a good thing at all. This may also be... No, this is not flat at all. Why are we so wobbly? Stop being wobbly! Stop being wobbly! We may have to ditch and go for the little guy here because we are too heavy. Too heavy. It should have enough delta V to slow us down without a problem. Downside, of course, being that I will be wasting all of this delta V to land this little guy. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, we have enough fuel. You know what? If nothing, why is my ship? Okay, something is wrong here, and I think it's me. I think it's my orientation to the ship is wrong, or something like that. So we'll just slow down as much as we can. I think we're about to overshoot if we haven't already. We're about to, and oh yeah, we are about to. Okay, so it's time to kill engine, eject, switch vessels, throttle up. And this should get rid of our speed relatively quickly. So we will get rid of our speed. We have more than enough delta V to get rid of our speed. We just lost our landing coordinates, but that's okay. I don't care. We just need to plant somewhere. So that's going to go down, to the dust. That's okay, again. And it says we're in orbit. We shouldn't really be in orbit, but it says we're in orbit. Can we not be in orbit? Can we be in, like, surface speed here? Okay, this is a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. This should be roughly close to where we wanted to land anyway. Alright, so we will bring our happy noses down quick as we can. Alley-oop. Alright, and... Now again, this thing's going to have a problem landing because when she touches down, she's going to touch down kind of hard. Where's the sun from here? Oh, the sun's almost directly above us. That is a super hardcore bonus because our solar panels are angled up, but they're not 100%. So we will be coming down nice and gentil, I think. Okay, now hold this steady and don't crash the ship. Or if you do crash the ship, crash it gently enough to where it won't... Wow, is this... Oh, please tell me that's a plateau. Please tell me we landed in a plateau. Please, happy times. Please tell me we landed at, near, or on a plateau so that I can just say we're on a plateau and we're done. We may have to suicide burn this, but this thing has a thruster rate ratio of 1.16 or something like that. So a suicide burn is not out of the question. Probably won't even have to suicide burn it. We'll have tons of fuel left in the little guy as we come down. Yeah, we have tons of fuel left as we come down. There you go. Nice and gentle. Gentle as you can, please. 3, 2, 1. We're about to take off again. And touchdown. Close enough. Alright, so she's gonna roll. But hopefully she doesn't roll all the way over. Okay, weird little glitch there. Okay, so we're on the ground. Apparently that's still going. she's gonna bounce across the surface something fierce. I know it. We're gonna quick save, and then hopefully this won't damage anything. But we have to decouple, and in 0.115 gravity, decoupling is going to throw us. It is just going to throw the ship. So here we go. Bunk. All right, and switch. And if we can do this proper, we should be able. Hey, hey, hey! Oh, that is wow. She is super light. Look how light she is. That is some super light, super light. Gravity there, but not as light as Minmus. So we actually have we have wheels on the ground, and the game is able to say yes, your wheels are on the ground. All right. Now we don't have MechJeb on. No, we don't have MechJeb on here. So all we have is this landing coordinate thing. But we're roughly where I wanted to land. This is it. This is roughly where I wanted to land, give or take about I don't know, a couple kilometers maybe. I guess we can kind of watch this hit the dirt. Hey, let's do that. Can we switch to? Well, if we switch to and it crashes. Yeah, you know what? You guys deserve a crash. We haven't had a big crash in a while. We have it quick saved. If anything goes weird with the other ship, we can just reload. Let's go ahead and switch to really well. You know, if a game crashes, that's completely separate, I guess. Alright, so the Humble Bumble 6 probe. Oh, it looks like it... No? Okay, that's weird. I told it to switch to, and it says never mind, and that was it. So... it's either too close to the ground, or there's a glitch or something, because it's about to hit, and it'll just... boom, gone forever. Altitude is 4,000. Yeah, it should have let us. Well, we'll just monitor it from here, I guess we can say. Boop, bump, gone. Okay, so there goes our debris. It's probably scattered all over the place. We have some debris here, but we're okay with that. We're going to quick save again just because. And now it's time to go look around. Now, that is the wrong key. My hand is in the wrong place. So let's go ahead and turn... Ooh, wow, turning not so big. This thing runs so much better on Kerbin. But then again, we are in really low gravity, so we're going to have to do this really weird. Spin just a little bit, buddy. Where are we controlling from? Are we controlling from where I think I can control from here? Oh, yeah, right. Man, I have to figure out a way to put something on here to where we control it from, like, the front of the craft so we know where we're pointing, rather than hoping we know where we're pointing. Alright, we're going to crest this hill. We're just going to crest this hill, I think. And there's Duna in the background. Hey, Duna, we're coming to hijack your little buddy here. We need a landing zone. We need a launch platform. We need a place. This is not flat enough. We can tell by our angle that we are at an angle, of course. We have a couple of kilometers on both sides to work with, which is really good. I was hoping for something a little bit better in that regard. You know, if we hit the top of this hill at 5 meters per second, we are going to fly. We are going to go for a little ride. Let's check our power. We'll keep our power up because we do use a lot of power with our batteries and everything, or with our engines, our wheels, but not with much else. So our lights are able to recharge us. Our lights can stay on. Boink. Hey, look at that! We got our first little jump. All right, so should be another hill here. The flat spot I was hoping for should have been right over this ridge, unless it's like really bad on your eyes and it only looks like a flat spot when in fact it's like a bunch of hills. Which, you know, happens all the time with me. It happens all the time with me. You just get hill upon hill upon hill, and from high up, yeah. Woo! From high up, it looks like a flat spot, but once you get down low, yeah, as you can see, the Humble is now much better at taking those little bumps. So we can traverse large portions of land much more quickly and much more safely. Alright, yeah, so it looks like it was down here that I was hoping for. We are going to have to tap our brakes, though, because we are in the middle of speeding up, which is not good, so we do have to make sure that we're below a very set range, though. I'd say 7 meters per second might be our fastest if we want to be stupid about it. What I'm really looking for is a flat spot. If we can find a flat spot where the Humble can sit without rolling one way or another, that would be our key point, our key space, our place to put our drills and our launchers and everything. And I suppose we could put our launcher on a flat spot and then have the drills and everything far away, but you know how painful it would be to have to move everything, like drill it and then move it? It would be more, I guess you could say it would look more like a mining operation in that regards, where, you know, you drill from one place, keythane from another, launch from another. But time-wise, although calculations-wise, it might be easier on the system, too, because, of course, where we were at, like, 9 frames per second over on Minmus, we're at, like, 106 right now. Of course, I'm encoding it to where it goes back down to, like, 29, so... but I'm, like, at 106 right now on my screen, which is really good, because we only have, like, 5 or 6 parts that we're working with here. As well, it's more than that, but you guys get my point. Alright, so I'm not sure if this is going to be as helpful as I had originally thought. We're still going downhill, but maybe this hill, maybe this crater has a basin. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe that over there. And if that's the case, if we can get, I should have put MechJeb or something on here to get our XY coordinates, and that was really silly of me not. Well, no, we don't need it, do we? No, we shouldn't need it. It should be on our map. It should be actually on our map. Okay, let's go ahead and slow down. Are we still on the hill? Oh yeah, we're still on the hill. We need to slow down anyway. Yeah, I'm hoping that like this will be a basin of some kind. Then maybe it's just like funneling us to that point, because that'd be nice. That'd be nice if we had. Ooh. Okay. Again, put my hand in the wrong place. Why do I keep doing that? It's like my keyboard has shrunk. My brain feels that my keyboard has shrunk because I put my hand down where I think it's supposed to go, and I'm like 2 keys to the right. And then if I shift my keyboard the other way, I'm like 2 keys to the left. And again, not 100% right now, guys. So all sorts of weird errors and bugs. That is so pretty. Look how pretty that is. You got Duna rise right over there. You can watch Duna come up over the horizon like all the time. Should have just opted for this instead of the space station, but I thought the space station would be overall cooler. And I was right. Indeed, I really was right. Space station would have been cooler, especially for building rockets and stuff, but the downside of that being we can't build rockets using the extraplanetary launch pads unless the state of the launch pad is landed yes. And I did try to cheat the system. I did try to do alterations and code changes and stuff like that in order to make the launch pad think it was on the ground, only to have it not be on the ground. And if you're ever curious what happens, all you have to do is go into a config file or a persistence file for a ship, any ship that you have in orbit. Don't change anything else except where it says is landed, put yes. Strange things will happen to your game. It doesn't break the game. But I don't want to spoil it, but I won't tell you exactly what happens, but it's pretty funny. And it's also a pretty interesting cheat that you can use for other things if you're curious. Sort of. Well, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys, since I don't know if any of you will ever do it. But basically what it does is it locks your ship in orbit. And when I say locks it in orbit, it locks its XY coordinates and altitude at the point in which you set is landed yes. Which basically means it becomes geosynchronous, like instantly perfectly geosynchronous, regardless of its height off the ground. Which is great if you want something geosynchronous in orbit without ever having to put it in a real geosynchronous orbit location. But it's terrible if you ever want to dock anything with it, because of course anything that tries to catch up to it or slow down to it will be crashing into or flying out into space. So it was really interesting that happened, but I would not suggest it if you were going for actual gameplay. Alright, again, hoping for a basin. We're still on a flippin' hill. Coming to something, though. Hoping. I mean, we're here, right? This shouldn't be more than a couple clicks. I mean, even at worst, it should be like a click, maybe 2, from our original location. So it shouldn't be that bad. And in all honesty, with increased gravity... gravity? Wow. Okay. With increased gravity, pardon me, the steepness of the angle of this hill should not be bad enough to cause us too much headache. However, I would rather be on a flat-ish plane if at all possible. We're still speeding up. See if we can turn into the skid a little bit, because our grid squares go across and then they go up. And I guess we could take a quick look, because we do have this. Oh, we are off a little bit. So we're on this grid square here. We're about to leave. Well, no, we should be able to. The basin should be fine. This basin should be fine. It will be very, very close to the edge of the ore deposit, but it should be perfectly fine as it pertains to. We're about to hit another hill. An even steeper hill that goes into an even steeper hole. Hey. It should be fine as it pertains to the kethane ore, or excuse me, the ore, not kethane. It's not kethane ore. It's ore. As it pertains to the ore deposit. So yeah, I love this little humble bundle. And again, for anybody who's followed me from Twitch, for anybody who was there when I don't know how many of you may have been there or may be watching this who who were there, but for anybody who assisted me on making the changes to the Humble Bumble design, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She works so much better now. We were just like, we're not crawling across this like we were on Dres and other planets. We have a gravity of 0.115. I checked it, and that's the gravitational pull is 0.115. And we are just hauling it across the surface without any fear of flips or bumps or anything. And she looks kind of cute. I mean, she's not 100%. I changed the headlights just for me, but she looks kind of cute. And I like the solar panels, and I like all of it. She's less breakable. I have to worry less. It's really, 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 really... Oh, wait, that was a flat spot. Wait, that was a flat spot. We're coming up on a flat spot here pretty quick. I saw it, because this right here, when that dot is centered, that's a flat spot. That's really what I'm looking for. But we're about to hit... We're pretty close. This is pretty close to a flat spot, and we're about to come up on the other side of this hill. And unfortunately, the way the maps are made, that's the best you can do is just hit a flat-ish spot, unless you're on an actual flat spot, like a spot in the game. They said this spot is going to be flat, and they made it that way specifically. All right, we are very close. I guess if we do this, we are like right on the edge of that ore deposit. We really are. We are right on the edge of that ore deposit. We could head... Whoa, that is not what I wanted. I wanted to use these keys. We could head this way a little bit just to make sure. Because we do have to... Yeah, I think we're gonna park... We're gonna park somewhere around here. I'm gonna say that. This is a pretty good locale. It's not 100% perfect. It does make me a little bit nervous if we're off, because if we're off, we are going to have to move the ship. However, the ship does have a internal fuel converter, so it's not like we wouldn't... As long as we land on a kethane deposit, which is much, much bigger than the ore deposit in this area, we should be pretty... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's nice. Wait. A little bit further. Come on, tell me this thing flattens out. Tell me it flattens out, please. This is like almost perfect. It's not going to flatten out. We're going to hit this bump. There's a line right here. I can kind of see it when I turn the camera. We're going to hit it, and then we're going to go uphill. And there it is. So that's... Oh, wait. This is flat. It's flat right there. It was flat there for like half a second. Alright, brakes. Okay. And map. Alright, it's close. It's close. I don't know how close is close. Like, I don't know how accurate this is to, like, how many hundreds of meters is accurate, but... Okay, 24... Wait. 2439... We're moving. 2439.7, whatever, 445. And it's 23.9 by 4.6. Now, that should be the center, right? Yeah, that should be where the center is. We're pretty close. I mean, we're pretty close. We are moving again, which means we're moving backwards at like 0.6 meters per second, but yeah. Is that flat spot back here? Can we find it again? Is that it? That's it. That's it. Stop. Just stop. Alright. So we're still a little bit wobbly, but like basically the flat spot's right here. It's right in this area. So I'm pretty sure this is where we're going to be landing. This is where we're going to be bringing our lander. Yeah, that is like the basin of the basin. That's going to be a hard hit. That is going to be a tough hit. I mean, I could do some more exploring, I think. And maybe explore like this crater, or we can't go any further that way. I could go back that way, but if you look, there's not a lot of love out here. Not a lot of love. We got a lot of rough terrain with maybe a couple of teeny tiny ledging plateaus, and that's it. But in all honesty, this is like one of the flattest spots that we can find, and it's small enough for what we need. I mean, well, big enough for what we need, because all we need to do is land a lander in here, right? And then Duna's like right there. Not all the time, of course, because a Duna day is the same as an Ike day, because Ike, of course, loops around, and because of our angle, we may not get a Duna eclipse, a Dunal eclipse. We may not get a Duna eclipse. We may not. So it looks like we slide backwards just a little bit. So it's not 100% flat, but when it comes to flat surfaces, we can't really do much better than this. That is again the wrong keys. Again, I'm doing that thing I'm doing. Anyway, so let's hit our brakes. We'll kill our lights. And I think because of all that roving, yeah, we landed 4.1 kilometers away. Because of all that, wow, really? We should have traversed 4.1 kilometers in like 10 minutes? That's awesome. We did that was awesome. This little guy is so awesome. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you. for all your assistance in making this a better rover, because it is 10 bajillion times a better rover than it was. And I thought my rover was awesome. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and pause here because, again, as I said, not feeling 100%. We do need to bring the Proteus 2 over this way, as well as our launch platform. But I do have to design and build a slightly different probe ship because we just wasted a crap ton of fuel. We wasted a crap ton of fuel. And so we're going to have to build a better ship for that. Now, we may need the Hitchhiker to bring the Proteus because it is a 38-ton vessel. If that's the case, fine. Fine. But if not, we'll figure that other part out in the next video. So again, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program and Kerbal Space Adventures. And I will see you next video.